Hey everybody, Chris Bassett here, and I'm playing a little Destiny 2! In this video, I'll be going over what I like to call the ShreddedBonk build for my Titan. It gets all the benefits of Radiant Restoration, it spawns Threadlings, it has Woven Mail, you get a 20-second super, so you'll be shredding those enemies, pal. It's also good for free-to-play and solo, so if you're that guy, stick around. Let's get into the build, buddy! Yeah, boy! Alrighty, gentlemen, let's take a look at the build. So obviously, I am playing on Titan. I'm playing Sunbreaker, of course. I did pick the Hammer of Soul. That way we have some distance to the hammers. We can chuck them. And it's a pretty good damaging super. I do like the Rally Barricade. And, you know, this comes into play because you'll be using your class ability to start the loop. And, you know, you'll pop your class ability, and then you will shoot the grenade launcher to sever things. So you'll need to be able to, you know, access. You can either, I mean, if you did have the towering barricade, you could step to the side. But I like the rallying barricade because it also increases reload speed. So you pop the barricade, shoot the rocket or the grenade launcher, and then it reloads quicker. So just my personal choice. Strafe lift, obviously, this is the best in slot for platforming. So, you know, if you're doing any puzzles where you need to jump, this is the one to choose. And of course, we're using the throwing hammer, buddy. This is going to be part of the bonk build. It's the same way it's been for many years, where you throw the hammer, you get a kill, you can stand in the flames, it heals you, you do escalating damage with your melee, so it just works really well. So here's a hot tip. If you're like, how do I throw it at range? You know, say you're up close to the enemy, and I'm still throwing the hammer. There is a setting in the settings. So let's take a look real fast. I go over to my controller settings. Controller, and then here you can go to button layout, choose custom, and then here's where you can set up your melees. So you'll want to take off the the auto melee. So take that, you know, this is the default, and this is based on range. So if you're far enough away, you'll throw the hammer, but if you're close, you'll just punch. But you want to be always throwing the hammer. So remove the auto melee and then set both your charged and uncharged to a press, where you just press the button and my RB. So I'm just tapping the RB button to continually throw the hammer, and then when the hammer's gone, right, I'll still punch with my fist. So that's the trick there. Get that set up and ready to go. Red to go. Next, let's take a look. So I'm using the healing grenade. This is like an oh shit, get out of jail free. Like, you don't have restoration up. You can't take cover. Your barricade's down. You need to get some healing. Just throw this on the ground or on a wall and walk into it, and you get some restoration and a cure. Okay, for our aspects, running Roaring Flames. Final blows with your solar abilities, which would be your hammer. So you get a kill with the hammer. Will increase the damage of your solar abilities. It stacks 3 times. So this also ups your super damage. So if you can help it, you know, get a few kills with your hammer before you pop your super, and it hit that much harder. And then I'm using Soul Invictus. So solar ability, final blows, hammer soul impacts, and defeating Scorch targets creates sunspots. So this is going to be where you get your restoration. These sunspots are critical for area denial. So if there's a group of enemies, you know, they're like coming through a door, you kill the one and it'll put that sunspot there, and it deals damage over time. So it hurts the enemies, and then it also heals you. So really good. This is great. I love it. All right, let's take a look at the fragments. Right, I'm using Ember of Empyrean. So solar weapon or final abilities extend the duration of restoration radiant. So what I like about this is you throw the hammer, like, you know, you're coming to an area where there's a lot of enemies, typically red bar. You get 1 kill with the hammer, walk through the sunspot to get restoration, and now your solar weapon will also extend that the duration of the restoration and the radiant. So you're like, how did you get Radiant? Well, the Radiant comes from Ember of Torches. So powered melee attacks against combatants make you and allies Radiant. So you throw your hammer, you get a kill. Not only do you get Radiant, you get Restoration. And then with the Empyrean, your solar weapons will also continue the loop to go. In the third fragment spot, I like to put Ember of Solace, which is additional radiant restoration duration. I think without Empyrean and Solace, you get like a 9-second radiant and like a 3-second restoration, so it's really slow. But with both of them combined, it's like 20 seconds and 10 seconds, so it's a pretty substantial increase when you stack both of them. And then for the final fragment, Ember of Ashes, so we're applying more Scorch. This is going to work well on the weapon that we have that applies Scorch, so we're going to be stacking the Scorch. Scorch creates ignitions. Ignitions explode, dealing more damage and spreading the Scorch. It's just a DOT effect. Big explosions! Alright, let's take a look at... what are we up next? Okay, so we've got that ready to go. Okay, so the next thing we're going to take a look at is the artifact. So I'm using the Queen's Foil Sensor. With this artifact, we're getting the benefits of both Solar and Strand combined. And so I'll tie this back into how the weapons work, the synergy with the weapons work. But let's take a look at the artifact. So for my first perk, I'm running Torch. So while Radiant, deal increased damage to combatants affected by Strand. So, you know, what we'll do is you'll shoot the grenade launcher and spread, Strand debuff. Bonk somebody with the hammer. Now you have Radiant, and now your weapons deal additional damage. The second perk, Kindling. So Radiant causes Scorch weapons to apply Scorch. You'll be bonking with the hammer, get Radiant, and then our solar weapons now will just Scorch combatants natively. So that's really nice. You can stack that with the fragment from our class abilities for more Scorch. I'm using Blast Radius, so final grenade or rapid final blows with grenade launchers give armor charge. We're using a grenade launcher, so slap that in there. And then here's going to be the huge synergy with the Strand grenade launcher. So picking up an Orb of Power grants Strand weapons unraveling rounds. So we'll be making Orbs of Power all the time. Pick it up. Now our grenade launcher has unraveling rounds. That stacks with Horde Shuttle. When you damage unraveled targets from the unraveling rounds, it spawns a Threadling. Those Threadlings are like little NPC. They just chase enemies. They track to enemies, damage them, and also sever the targets. Severed targets deal reduced damage. So it's spreading these all over the battlefield, and things are doing less damage to you. And they're also taking a Strand debuff. And then 2 shreds, dealing sustained damage to severed targets unravels them. Defeating the severed target gets woven mail. So you shoot your grenade launcher. It spreads the Strand debuff everywhere. Then you kill the enemy, or deal sustained damage to the debuffed enemies, and you'll get woven mail, which is a 40% damage reduction. Pretty nice for survivability. And then the final perk is Armor Smith, where breaking combatant shield grants you damage resistance and increased melee damage. So this stacks with the hammer. We're doing extra melee damage, and we're also tankier when we break a shield. So yes, this is the artifact. It's good. It's great. I was also using... the Tablet of Ruin for a while with these perks on screen. It seemed like it was doing well, but this performs a little bit better with the current setup. This one, I think, maybe gets your super a little faster, but this one, it's super comparable. Works really nice with the armor set we're running. It's pretty great. Okay, so let's take a look at the weapons, buddy. So I am running the Festival Flight. This is God tier. For this build, right? It's a area denial grenade launcher, so you just shoot this stuff all over the ground, all over enemies. It does damage over time, and it will also sever the targets. So the rolls you're really looking for would be the God roll is Slice and then Attrition Orbs. I didn't get orbs on this one, but you'd be creating more orbs after the enemies die. Frenzy's also really good because it gives you extra damage and reload speed. Let's take a look at the website. So if you're wondering, you're like, what can I do? What can I get? I usually go over to light.gg and then check out the weapons. So Festival Flight is a kinetic strand kinetic grenade launcher, and it is from Solstice Award. So I'll show where you get that from here in a second. But here's the perks you're looking for, right? We're looking for Slice, and then the orbs, attrition orbs. That'd be the God roll. And then I'd probably put on there like a reload masterwork, so you're reloading even faster. Because there isn't a way, I thought maybe if you threw on the auto reloading to the boots, you could automatically, but it doesn't work like that. So you actually have to manually reload this. So let's make a video edit, and I'll show where you get this from real fast. Alrighty, gentlemen, over in the tower down here, you can pick up the Tenet of Bravery. And, you know, as you're completing this activity, you'll get the legendary marks. And right here, Solstum weapon engram. Make sure it's the weapon and not the armor. For 2 legendary marks, you'd get a chance to roll the Festival Flight. I want to say it took me about 100 marks in order to get the God roll, which I have on my other character. But this is where you get the Festival Flight from. So good luck to you, sir. Okay, so yeah, the Festival Flight, great, amazing grenade launcher. Like I said, I've got the reload masterwork, but then I also threw on a reload and handling mod to help with that speed. We're almost maxed out. We're at 96. Is my head in the way? Okay. All right, so for the secondary, my primary weapon, I'm using the Parabellum machine gun Solar, and this drops from EDZ. So great. I love it. I got the ranged abilities, ranged masterwork. You can hit from pretty far away, but the rolls you're looking for are going to be heal clip. This will help with any of your solar class survivability, because you'll be getting cures. You kill an enemy, reload, and it heals you. And so you can just basically hold down the trigger, you'll mow everybody down, and you get a cure at the end. And then Burning Ambition. So those are the 2 perks you're looking for. Burning Ambition deals Scorch, and dealing damage to the Scorch target inflicts a Scorch. So like I said before, we're stacking Scorched with Ember of Char. More Scorch, more ignitions, more explosions. Kaboom, buddy! And then I really like this one for the Origin trait, which is Veteran's Wisdom, Rapid or Precision Final Blows. It's hard to get a precision final kill with this thing, but rapid final blows release larger kinetic shock waves that exhaust targets. And those exhausted targets deal less damage to you. So, they're severed, they're doing 40% less damage, and I think exhaust, they're doing 25% less damage. So it makes them pretty weak when they smack you. Let's take a look at that. So that one, like I said, drops from the EDZ. Here it is here on Light GG. Right here, EDZ set. So if you're wondering, in my experience, the fastest way to get the weapons to drop is by doing public events. So you'd go over to the Destinations tab, and then EDZs right here. And so looking for any of these right here, these public events, you turn these from standard to a heroic version. So each one of them has like a different requirement to turn it into a heroic event. Those heroic events drop the weapons at tier 5, drop the armor at tier 5. So get in there and do these, buddy. Yeah. So what else? Okay, let's take a look. And then for my exotic, running Dragon's Breath. By the way, all these weapons are all free to play. So if you're a free to play account and solo friendly, really easy to solo these weapons and pick them up. The Dragon's Breath you get from the Monument of Triumph. You just purchase like a exotic cipher from Zur, and then 1 cipher plus some material, and you can pick up the breath. I'll show that right here. All right, and then so over here in the center by the exotic archive, Monument to Lights, you can just come over here to the exotics, and you can pick up the Dragon's Breath right here for 1 exotic cipher and 100,000 glimmer. In order to get the ciphers, you can go to Zur. So Friday through Monday, Zur will spawn in, talk to him, and I think you got to do a little bit of a quest. So you pick up the cipher, then you got to get some kills or do something, and he'll give you the cipher. It's pretty simple. You can trade those ciphers for all the different exotics. So yeah, I really like the Dragon's Breath for the intrinsic, right? It automatically reloads itself, so that's nice. And then it will also, it does DOT damage, so damage over time. You shoot it, it's good for unstoppables. It'll spread fire everywhere. Just be careful you don't run into the fire. You'll die. So you'll need some distance. But then you can pick up the catalyst. I think the catalyst just comes from strikes. You got to get lucky. And then you got to do some kills or something with it. And then you get extra. It replenishes the fuel faster and drops fire sprites, which give you grenade energy. So I really like Dragon's Breath. Okay, let's see. What else, buddy? Okay, and then for your ghost, right, I'm going to set my ghost, the modifier, to Paragon, so it focuses the armor drops for super, energy, and melee. So super will be your primary stat, melee is its secondary. That way when you're building your armor set, you'll get the drops that you want. Because we are wanting to focus, for the stats, we're wanting to focus melee, because throwing hammers, doing extra damage. And then super, this is extra damage from your super. It's just great for clearing out stuff. And we'll be getting the super back real fast because of the armor set that we have. One other thing I'd recommend is maybe stack into weapons as well. So if you can get your melee, your super, and your weapon stat as high as possible, perfect. It's molto bueno, signore. Alright, so I am running the Iron Banner set. So Iron Banner comes once a month, 1 week a month. So make sure you get in there, get the Iron Banner set. But the 2-piece increases handling and reload speed for primary ammo weapons, which would be our submachine gun. And then the primary ammo weapons deal increased damage against non-boss combatants. So you'll be doing an extra 10 to 12% damage with your submachine gun with the 2-piece. And then the 4-piece, as long as when your super's active, as long as you get 6 kills, you get back 15% of your super. So it's nice. It's a nice big chunk to start off. Get that super going back on the routine, pal. So for the set, we are running the Iron Battalion set. This is how I have the armor mods set up. Right, I'm running super, right? So I'm trying to stack into super and weapons. And then I do like hands-on. So when you bonk an enemy, it drops an orb. So that's how you can start off like an encounter. You pop the shield, bonk an enemy, pick up the orb, shoot the grenade launcher, and then machine gun. And that's kind of like the gameplay loop. I am running Strand Siphon and Harmonic. So both my grenade launcher is a strand and the solar machine gun make orbs of power. So we need orbs to trigger the this unraveling orbs. So we need orbs to trigger unraveling rounds. Okay. And then I would recommend Syntheseps, right? I was using Worm God, which these are both free to play. You can just go over to the Cryptarch guy and get it, and I'll show that right here. All right, over here by the Cryptarch, if you want to focus some of the exotics, you'll first need a few exotics that you pick up from the world. But instead of decrypting them, hit dismiss. And now you can go over to focus decoding. And here you can pick up, I think this is stuff that you've never unlocked. So you'll need an exotic engram and an exotic cipher. Exotic ciphers you get from Zur. Or from the season pass. If you have unlocked stuff, like you can see I have some things that are already unlocked. You can do it from this page. So let's go ahead and look at. Oh, here they are. Syntheseps right here. So you need one engram, 60,000 glimmer, and a shard. So let's see if we can get lucky here. Let's see what I got for a roll. Did I get what I wanted? Hey, oh, no melee. Okay, well, that's what it is. But anyway, so yeah, it's an easy way to focus exactly what you were looking for your exotics. Nice. But it seems like the Worm God is a little more, you need to manage it a little more in order to, take advantage of it. So if you can get multiple kills with the hammer, it's ultimately better in terms of stats. But if you're just kind of like, I just want to run through and I just want to bonk stuff and not really think too much about it, Syntheseps are pretty easy to manage because when you're surrounded, it buffs your damage and weapon handling. So it buffs your melee super damage and improves weapon handling, reload speed. So you don't have to think about anything, but you do see like in the lower corner of the screen, like biotic enhancements will pop up so Syntheseps are active. So on the gloves, I'm running, more melee and then a melee font. We're pushing our melee up to 150. And then I do like heavy-handed for melee orbs. Like I said, bonk the enemy, get an orb, pick up that orb. And then harmonic loader. This will reload the machine gun faster. Submachine gun faster. So that's nice. And then for the body piece, running super. And then I'm running all 3 resistances. The resistances give you a 15% damage resistant to that element. So arc, solar, void. For the feet, running melee. And I think, I only have class ability. But otherwise it'd be weapons or probably weapons. We're running double weapons fonts. Like I said, trying to get that weapons stat as high as possible. And then orbs, so just when I pick up an orb, I get a little bit of ability energy back. And then the Iron Battalion mark for the waist piece. Waist? You're wasted. Not yet, buddy. Super, melee, and then I do like to run Reaper, so we're popping that shield, barricade, excuse me, and you get an orb power. And then my armor charge lasts longer, so I think it goes from like 10 seconds to 15 seconds duration. And then just when you do a finisher, you get an overshield. So if you are in kind of like an oh shit spot and you have an enemy weak, do a finisher on him, and you'll get an overshield. And that is it, buddy. So yeah, there we go. Let's take a look. I think that's it. What else is there to look at? Okay, let's just take a look real fast. Like I said, this will kind of be basically the gameplay loop. All right, as you pop your shield, sever things, start shooting, get a hammer kill. Everything's blowing up. See, we have the tangles going around killing stuff, and then when it drops one of the woven mail spots, like this, there we go, walk through the woven mail, and it's going around killing everybody. And then we got the cures from the reload, which is great. Let's take a look at the super real fast. What else? There was something else I was going to show. Okay. I already forgot. So for your super, right, you'll want to try to get at least one melee kill. That way you get everything going, and then you can pop your super. Things are dying! There we go. Then see, look down in the corner. We got back, I don't know, 30%. 30% of our super right off the bat. Wonder how fast it comes back. There's our woven mail right there, these little green blobs. So we're getting 40% damage reduction. Then we're severing. They're going to the next one. And the next one. Oh, there we got a woven mail. Pick that up. Grenade launcher. Rocket launcher. Everything's dying! And our super's back. So, yeah, you get it back pretty quick. Do extra damage, do extra stuff. But there you go, fellas. I'm happy with this build. I've been having a lot of fun with it lately. It's been working out pretty nice. I've been soloing Lost Sectors fairly easily. Let me know what you think. If the video was helpful, throw a like or subscribe. I want to hear some comments from you. So I'll catch you on the next one. Later!